Bored with basics? These twists turn the 5 into weapons. Gorilla Elite Mode activated. Welcome back to the Pump Room Podcast, folks, the ultimate hub for bodybuilding, strength training, and that unbreakable mindset that turns average lifters into legends. I'm your host, Dr. Aris Thorne, a professional in the trenches of human performance, here to guide you through the iron jungle. If you're an intermediate lifter who's been hammering away at the same old routines, feeling like your progress is flatlined, your motivation is dipping, and you're wondering if you'll ever break through to that next tier of power, this episode is crafted just for you. We're not talking minor tweaks. We're unleashing advanced variations on the 5 foundational exercises that form the backbone of gorilla-like strength. Chin-ups for that commanding pull, bench press for chest dominance, military press for overhead authority, tricep dips for armored arms, and Romanian deadlifts for an indestructible posterior chain. We'll start with the fundamentals of each, then layer on progressive twists that build from accessible modifications to elite-level challenges, ensuring you can scale them to your current level while pushing boundaries safely. Along the way, I'll share real-world applications, common pitfalls to dodge, and how these changes can solve those nagging problems like plateaus, imbalances, and injury risks that hold so many back. By the end of this deep dive, you'll walk away with a toolkit to customize your workouts, reignite your passion, and see tangible gains that make every session feel like a victory. So grab your notebook, hit play, and let's transform that routine rut into raw, exhilarating power. Your journey to elite mode begins right here. Let's dive in. Let's ease into this with chin-ups, the undisputed ruler of upper body pulling movements that sculpt a wide, powerful back and biceps that demand respect. If you've been stuck in the basics, maybe cranking out sets, but not seeing the thickness in your lats or the endurance in your pulls, these variations are your solution. They address the common frustrations of stalled reps, uneven development, and that nagging shoulder fatigue that creeps in after weeks of repetition. We'll progress logically, starting with weighted additions for overload, moving to core integrated challenges for stability, then unilateral work for balance, and capping with dynamic endurance builders. This order ensures you build a strong foundation before tackling complexity, solving layer by layer the issues that keep your upper body from reaching its peak. First off, revisit the base chin-up to set our benchmark. Grab the bar with palms facing you at shoulder width. Hang fully extended. Then pull your body up until your chin surpasses the bar, lowering back down with control to avoid momentum cheats. This move targets your lats, biceps, and rear delts primarily, but for intermediates, the real problem is adaptation. Your body gets efficient and gains slow. That's where our first twist comes in, weighted chin-ups. Strap on a dip belt or hold a dumbbell between your feet, starting with just 5 to 10 pounds if you're new to loading. This forces progressive overload, directly solving the plateau by making each rep demand more from your muscles. Imagine adding that extra resistance. Your lats have to fire harder, leading to hypertrophy that you can feel and see in the mirror after consistent weeks. But here's the key to avoiding injury. Always warm up with 2 to 3 bodyweight sets, and if your elbows twinge, drop the weight immediately. Overloading too soon can inflame tendons, so listen to your body and incorporate mobility work like arm hangs daily. Building on that, let's introduce L-sit chin-ups to tackle the often overlooked core integration that leaves many lifters with a strong back but weak overall stability. From the hanging position, raise your legs straight out in front of you to form an L shape with your body. Hold that while performing the pull. This variation solves the problem of disconnected strength, where your upper body thrives but your midsection lags, leading to form breakdowns in compound lifts. Start with knee tucks if the full extension feels impossible. Over time, this builds the abs and hip flexors needed for total body power. Picture this in action. During a heavy deadlift day, that core strength prevents rounding, keeping your spine safe and your lifts heavy. To make it practical, aim for 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps, resting 2 minutes between. Rushing can strain your lower back, so breathe deeply through your nose to maintain tension without fatigue. If you're dealing with prior ab strains, regress to hanging knee raises first to build tolerance. Now, shifting to address imbalances that sneak up and cause one side to dominate, enter archer chin-ups. Widen your grip beyond shoulder width, pull your body toward one hand while extending the opposite arm straight out, then alternate. This unilateral focus isolates each lat and bicep, solving the asymmetry that leads to uneven muscle development and potential shoulder issues down the line. It's like spotlighting the weak link in your chain. Suddenly, that lagging side catches up, and your overall pull feels balanced and powerful. For implementation, do 4 to 6 reps per side per set. If it feels awkward at first, use a resistance band for assistance on the working arm. Real talk, I've seen clients transform their posture and confidence with this, as it not only builds muscle, but corrects slouching from desk jobs. Safety first, roll your shoulders back before each pull to engage the scapula properly. Ignoring this can pinch the rotator cuff, so include shoulder dislocations with a broomstick in your warm-up routine. Pushing further into endurance territory, Typewriter chin-ups will solve the grip and lateral stability problems that plague long sets or high-volume days. Pull up to the top, then shift your body side to side along the bar, pausing briefly at each end, like typing on an old machine. This extends the time under tension, forcing your forearms, lats, and stabilizers to adapt, directly combating the quick fatigue that cuts sessions short. Visualize holding that position, your muscles screaming but growing resilient, ready for anything from rock climbing to heavy farmer's walks. Start with 2 to 3 shifts per rep, building to 5 to 6. If your grip slips, chalk up or use straps, but never compromise form. This variation has been a game changer for athletes I train, turning shaky pulls into marathon efforts. To prevent tendinitis, space these out, maybe twice a week max, and follow with forearm stretches, holding each for 30 seconds to release built-up tension. Wrapping this segment, these chin-up twists collectively solve the holistic pulling dilemmas, from raw strength deficits to stability gaps and endurance shortfalls. Implement them in phases, week 1 to 2 on weighted, then layer in L-sets and so on to avoid overwhelm and maximize adaptation. Your back will thank you with newfound width and power. Transitioning smoothly, let's apply similar progression to the bench press, where we'll conquer chest plateaus that leave so many with flat pecs and stalled presses. The classic flat bench press is our starting point. Lie back, feet firm on the floor, lower the bar to your mid-chest, then drive it up explosively to lockout. It hammers the pecs, triceps, and front delts, but intermediates often hit walls where reps don't increase and the chest lacks that 3D pop. Our strategic buildup starts with angle changes for targeted growth, moves to grip adjustments for accessory muscle emphasis, adds pauses for bottom-end strength, and peaks with isolation challenges, ensuring each step solves a specific layer of the plateau problem. Kick off with the incline bench press. Adjust your bench to 30 to 45 degrees, focusing the load on the upper chest to solve the common issue of underdeveloped clavicular pecs that make your torso look imbalanced. Lower controlled, pause briefly at the bottom for tension, then press up. This variation reignites growth by hitting fibers the flat bench misses, leading to a fuller, more aesthetic chest. For practical application, use 70 to 80% of your flat bench weight to start. I've had clients add inches to their upper chest measurement in months with this variation. Injury-proof it by mobilizing your shoulders with doorway stretches beforehand. Pushing too hard on inclines can impinge if you're tight, so warm up thoroughly with light sets.
Next, close grip bench press addresses tricep weaknesses that limit your lockout power, a frequent bottleneck in overall bench progress. Narrow your hands to inside shoulder width, keeping elbows tucked, and press. This shifts emphasis to the tris while still building chest, solving the arm-dominant stall where your pecs give out early. Feel that extra burn in the back of your arms? That's the key to pushing past PRs. Integrate it as 3-4 sets of 8 to 12 reps after your main bench. If wrists ache, use a neutral grip bar or wraps for support. Narrow grips stress joints, so progress weight slowly, adding 5 pounds every other session. This has helped powerlifters I work with smash through 300-pound barriers by fortifying the finish. To tackle sticking points at the bottom of the rep, where momentum usually helps but pure strength is needed, introduce the Spoto press. Lower the bar to just an inch above your chest, hold for 1 to 3 seconds, then explode up without touching. This dead stop method builds explosive power from zero velocity, directly solving the weak start that plagues heavy attempts. It's like training your muscles to fire on command, turning hesitant lifts into confident blasts. Aim for 4 to 6 reps per set with 80% of max. Record your sessions to check pause consistency. Cheating the hold diminishes gains. For safety, set pins in the rack. If pecs strain, reduce time or weight, and incorporate chest openers like yoga poses post-workout to aid recovery. Culminating in pure upper body isolation, the Larsen press removes leg drive entirely. Keep your feet elevated or straight out, pressing solely with chest and arms. This solves the over-reliance on lower body that masks true pressing strength, forcing adaptations that carry over to all pushes. The instability here demands core engagement, building that integrated power gorillas possess. Start light, maybe 50 to 60% of normal to master balance. Clients often report this as the aha moment for bench breakthroughs. Beware of excessive back arch. Keep it neutral to protect your spine. If low back fatigues, alternate with floor presses for similar benefits without the height. These bench evolutions provide a complete solution set, from fiber targeting and accessory strengthening to explosive and isolated power building. Phase them into your program over weeks for sustained progress without burnout. Now, let's elevate our focus to the military press, solving overhead limitations that cap shoulder development and overall pressing prowess. Base military press. Stand with feet together, bar at collarbone level, press overhead to full lockout, lowering controlled. It forges bolder shoulders and traps, but for intermediates, ceilings hit fast due to stability issues and weak points. Our order here: seated for isolation, floor-based for core demand, angled for stabilizers, and pinned for dead stop power, each solving progressive layers of overhead struggles like poor delt activation, core weakness, and sticking spots. Begin with seated military press to isolate the shoulders by removing leg momentum, addressing the cheat-prone standing form that lets lower body take over. Sit upright on a bench, press from chin to overhead. This pure delt focus solves underdevelopment in the fronts and sides, leading to rounded, powerful shoulders. Use 70% of standing weight. Focus on slow eccentrics for tension. I've seen this transform narrow frames into wide ones. Pair it with lateral raises for synergy. To injury-proof, brace your core hard. Weak abs lead to back lean, so strengthen with anti-rotation drills like Palloff presses. Advancing to the Z press, sit on the floor with legs extended, pressing from there with no back support. This amps core involvement, solving the stability gap that causes wobbles and failed reps. It's humbling but effective, building the foundation for heavier overhead work. Start with dumbbells for safety. Aim for 6 to 10 reps. The floor position forces perfect posture. Slouch and you can't press. If hamstrings tighten, stretch them pre-session. Rushing this can strain lower back, so progress from knee bends if needed. Athletes swear by this for carryover to sports like volleyball or wrestling. For dynamic path work, the landmine press anchors one bar end to the ground, pressing the other end unilaterally in an arc. This engages obliques and rotators, solving one-sided weaknesses and adding functional strength. Alternate arms for balance. The unique angle hits hard to reach fibers. Load moderately. Overdoing arcs stresses shoulders. Use a landmine attachment or corner for setup. This variation adds variety, keeping sessions fresh while building resilience. Topping it off, pin press sets safeties at your sticking point, say eye level, pressing from a dead stop. This conquers mid-rep failures, building brute force where it counts. Pause 1 to 2 seconds before driving. It's raw power training. Set pins accurately. Wrong height misses the mark. Warm up extensively to avoid joint shock. This has pushed my clients' overhead maxes by 20 to 30 pounds in cycles. Together, these presses deliver comprehensive overhead solutions, from isolation to functional power. Integrate gradually for peak shoulders. Moving on, tricep dips await to armor your arms against underdevelopment. Standard dips on parallel bars, lower body until shoulders below elbows, then push up. Targets triceps with chest assist, but plateaus come from limited range and stability. Progression, weighted for mass, unstable for recruiters, extended range for depth, and eccentrics for resilience, solving mass deficits, shaker arms, shallow reps, and quick fatigue. Weighted dips first. Add plates via belt, dipping deeper for hypertrophy. Solves skinny arm syndrome by overloading. Start small, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Warm elbows with extensions. Heavy dips jar if cold. Ring dips introduce instability, recruiting more fibers for complete arm strength. Solves wobbly control. Master on bars first. Grip tight, 4 to 6 reps per side if unilateral. Russian dips roll to forearms at the bottom, extending range for max stretch. Solves limited mobility, practice partials. Explosive push, stop if pain. Accentuated eccentrics slow descent 5 to 10 seconds, building toughness. Solves early fatigue, lighter loads. Alternate days for recovery. These build unbreakable arms step by step. Finally, Romanian deadlifts to ignite the back chain. Base RDL, hinge hips, bar to shins, drive up via hamstrings, builds glutes and hams, but issues like poor activation persist. Order, stance wide for inners, grip wide for upper, semi-single for balance, full single for iso, solving imbalances, weak links. Sumo RDL, wide toes out, hits inners, solves quad dominance, lighter start. Snatch grip, ultra-wide, traps engage, solves posture, straps if grip weak. B-stance, back foot support, fixes sides, solves tilts, alternate. Single leg, full balance, max iso, solves weaknesses, assist if needed. Complete posterior solutions here. Mix mods, back focus, archer chins with snatch RDL, press, Spoto with Z-press, test, track, adjust every 4 weeks. Own your gains. We've unlocked elite twists on the 5. Implement for gorilla power. Next, recovery deep dive. Like, subscribe, comment your twist. Join the family. Lift strong.